Ross Chastain used the wall all the way around this racetrack. Logano has been the class of the field.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Yeah, I need to change my underwear.
And with that, Chase Briscoe is locked into the round of 4. The guy that we talked about from the jump, Brian, going, what does a successful season look like for Chase Briscoe? Is going to be racing for a championship in year 1 with JGR. I had to throw on the Bass Pro Shop. I had to throw on the old Truex shirt, but had to throw it on for our guy Briscoe, who hopefully will be cashing that ticket. It's right now it's him and it's Denny Hamlin. We'll talk about the odds, where we're at. We'll also talk Martinsville, all that good stuff. Just a quick show note. We are attempting to record something for the DFS preview ahead of Martinsville this weekend, but with scheduling and a lot of different factors going on, we're going to try and make it work potentially Sunday morning, but we know how much football can garner attention, so we don't know. So let us know down in the comments. Would you want a live thing on Sunday morning? Would you want just to write up where's your head at? Where's your thoughts at? We unfortunately couldn't record on Saturday, but did put out the newsletter, so make sure you are subscribed to that, aoppodcast.substack.com. Once again, aoppodcast.substack.com. We try and get that out each and every race day. Brian Twining, Talladega was compelling, fine, underwhelming. I know it's a super speedway, so there's always a grain of salt, or what's the saying? Take the grain of salt. But
yeah, you take the results with a grain of salt. And I guess the measurement of was it a good race is going to be different for everybody, because when you look at the final restart and how that played out, sure, that was exciting, but for the vast majority of the day, it was more of the same. Cars just riding in a pack, not wanting to make moves, not wanting to move up through the field because they were fuel saving. Quite honestly, as somebody who was working all day with NFL stuff, monitoring NFL news, it made for great background noise, and I was basically watching the race via listening, and so that was good for me. It kind of broke the monotony of NFL stuff, but I think from a pure entertainment standpoint, it was crap up until the final stage. And honestly, when the wreck happened towards the end, that kind of jumbled up the field, and then you had some guys taking tires, and then there was fuel worries and all that stuff. So
yeah, if you're a Hendrick fan, you probably didn't enjoy it very much. Chase obviously wrecks early. Byron is fuel saving basically the entire race until the very end. Kyle Larson runs out of fuel. Byron looks like he might get the win and then doesn't. The Penske boys are up there a lot of the day, and
they were controlling the race too.
And typical Penske super speedway results, they lead 90% of the day. They are up there the whole time, and at the end of the day, they're nowhere to be found. And here comes Toyota from the depths. Bubba's leading at one point, and Ty Gibbs, teammate of the year, pushes Chase Briscoe to the win. A Ty Gibbs that has never gotten a win had a chance, could have pushed for it, even if it didn't really, even if it wasn't going to be quite there. And he said, nope, I'm going to get behind the 19. I'm going to push him. I'm going to get him to the win and lock him in to the championship for Grandpa Joe's going to give him a nice little present under the Christmas tree for getting that one in there.
I did want to say that there was 2 significant takeaways for me on that move by Ty Gibbs. Not only did he choose to go with a teammate and push him to a win, which maybe shows a little bit of
maturity.
Yeah, like an evolution of him as a driver and maturity. But also, when you consider the fact that Chase Briscoe is the newest driver in that team, and there was a lot of talk of, what's this going to look like if he comes in and is a competitive car, and now he's locked into the championship 4, and Gibbs still doesn't have a win. So I think, as somebody who has talked a lot of crap on the 54, kudos goes out to him for making that move and actually pushing Briscoe to the win in that situation.
Do you think Bell and Denny are like, what the hell, man? Just 2 weeks ago you were holding us up. Now you're helping Chasen. So Chase is your buddy. The guys that have been here a long time with you, the ones that you're
quite honestly, very different scenarios and race
for sure.
happenings. I mean, when you think about it, like Talladega, what else is Ty Gibbs going to do? He's going to take it 4 wide or whatever and potentially wreck. I mean, at those other places, he's still racing for spots, whereas
And
at
then
the super
taking it
speedway,
4 wide.
you're either
Right.
pushing or I don't know.
No, I want to give him his flowers because he did do an amazing job and push the 19 into the championship, something that I don't know, felt like a glorified lock in the round of 16, the round of 12, and then in the round of 8 felt like he may not get through, and now is locked into the championship along with Denny Hamlin. Like, if you would have told me the first 2 cars were to clinch were going to be Denny and Briscoe, I told you you're crazy. It's like, that's not
but I
happening.
do think when you look at the numbers, people are going to talk about the season-long standings, blah, 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 all that bullshit. You have seen some stuff come out and talk about how Chase Briscoe, for one, is very deserving of being in the championship for the way that they've performed overall this season. And Denny Hamlin is the series leader in wins. Like, there aren't 2 more deserving guys who have actually earned a spot in the championship than these 2 drivers, in my opinion. I mean, as good as Kyle Larson is, he's been kind of up and down this year, and he's faltered at times. William Byron, for that matter, how many times have we seen him be up front leading races and then something go wrong and they don't win? Not even wrecking wise, it's just they make a mistake that costs them the victory. And Christopher Bell, I mean, they've been kind of up and down this year. They're finally kind of finding their groove.
I mean, Christopher Bell feels like 2 different drivers. Like, it feels like we saw one guy from February till June, and then we saw a different guy from June to the rest of the end of the season. Like,
exactly. So I think when you look at the 2 guys that are already locked in, I think Denny and Briscoe should be there.
I mean, based on, like, honestly, if we were doing like a season-long championship type thing, these 2 guys would be in the conversation for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Like, just think about this. So he has 3 wins, 15 top 5s, 7 poles. He's led 881 laps on the season. Like, that's fucking incredible. Bianchi and Gluck were talking about, like, basically anything that's important to us NASCAR stat wise, he's like top 3 or 4 everywhere.
Chase Briscoe is exactly what Chase Elliott fans think of the 9 and what he is in the sport. Chase Elliott is a very good car week in and week out. He's always kind of there, but he's not pulling it. He's not competing for wins at the level or at the consistency that the 19 is right now. And I think right now it's Briscoe, Hamlin, and the rest of the field when you look at the momentum going into Phoenix next week.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, we'll obviously talk odds here in a little bit, but we're certainly at a point where we have, I don't know, like, I guess, is it too simplistic to say there's like 2 or 3 guys that we think can reasonably win this week at Martinsville? Sure, weird stuff could happen, that could change, but for the most part, it feels, at least to me, that we're debating Blaney, Chase, and then I think you're going to throw in another name as potential winners this week who could emerge from the heap of crap. And then basically Larson or Bell is kind of that 4th name based on points. Or do you think Martinsville could rear its ugly head and we could get 2 people that, obviously one of the winners plus, I don't know, Byron coming out of the herd or somebody coming out of the herd going, oh, wow, I didn't see that happening, but they won stage 1, stage 2 and finished top 2. And the other guys had a horrible day and they ended up making it into the final 4.
Yeah, I honestly think all 8 guys, even the 2 that are locked in, do have a shot to win this weekend. Now, I would put Chase Briscoe as the least likely playoff driver to win because they're coming off of the high of winning Talladega, locking into the championship for, in all likelihood, turning all of their attention to Phoenix for next week. Whereas like a guy like Denny, he had a little bit of a head start and he's already the elite of the elite at this track. And I have to stick to my guns, having said that I believed that Hamlin was going to win both Vegas and Martinsville this round, just to try to screw over other people.
Yeah.
And just with the mentality of him, he's never out there to just ride around at a track he knows he has the chance to win.
I'm curious in terms of strategy, both with the team and with the drivers individually, knowing that Bell could still make it through.
Hamlin does not give a rat's ass about they already have one teammate in there. Hamlin is out to win for himself, and at this point in the season, drivers need to start looking out for their own good.
I think Denny is would rather get to Phoenix knowing he's facing Bell and work with him a little bit this week if it means keeping the Penske guys out.
Well, but the problem there is the Penske guys have to win, essentially, to make it through. What better way to prevent them from winning than going out and winning yourself?
Fair. I mean, that's a good point.
Denny Hamlin guarantees that the Penske guys, beyond Armageddon happening to both Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson, that they're eliminated by going out and winning this race. So I don't think there's a world where Hamlin, by any stretch of the word, is going to go out there and just dog it, looking forward to Phoenix. No way.
I would like to see Denny win the race, put some sort of TikTok thing on his Twitter account, and then a clock icon or something, and just peace out Penske, or I don't know.
Dude, yeah, for what it's worth, I watched Actions Detrimental this morning too, and I found it interesting that Hamlin, beyond Blaney, of course, because he even admitted he feels like Ryan is the most likely guy below the cut line to win, did acknowledge he feels like this is setting up for a potential race that William Byron, the guy that we all kind of have written off and all that stuff because he hasn't been great here the last 2+ season, or the last 2 years, or the last 2 fall races, could go out here and do what he's done at a couple times this year, pull it, lead the majority of the laps, and as long as everything goes right, potentially be the most dominant car all day and steal a win.
Yeah, that feels like hopium on Denny's part for me, but
yeah, it's almost like he's throwing out the guy he feels is
he's like, who could I beat the easiest at Phoenix? Let's put Byron in there. He's fun.
Yeah.
No, I haven't got to watch Actions Detrimental yet, but I will definitely put that on my consumption radar for the week for sure. All right, so let me throw up our betting card. Obviously, you had one name and one name only, which is probably smart by you, but I hit a winner. I hit Chase Briscoe.
Did hit Briscoe.
Added him on the newsletter. I took the full tank with Phil strategy, where I was like, give me a handful of names, I'll divide up my one unit and let me see if there's any options. Bell, Busher, Jones, and Briscoe were the 4 I ultimately landed on. I was looking at Reddick. I was looking at a few other names. I really wanted to be north of 20.
Yeah.
Especially with Elliott and Byron locked in at 14, and both of them becoming kind of the favorites pretty quickly, or right among co-favorites. They're all kind of 8 to 10 at a lot of books. Obviously, Keselowski doesn't keep the tradition going. Shouts to our guy for Ryan Stevens. We'll see what that means. Maybe he's just donezo, but so yeah, it was nice to hit that and kind of help balance out my week. Obviously a small profit, but a profit nonetheless. I'm still up 4 units. You're down 10, so we'll see. We got 2 races left, Brian. It's bonkers, but we're talking Martinsville today. We're talking Phoenix next week, and then it's over. It's all donezo. And during the off season, I will be all fingers crossed, hopefully moving. So I'll have a nice, fancy new studio when we get together next year for the 500 in February. It's crazy to think we've been going that long and talking through that mess. But yeah, we have 2 races to break down, and we're donezo. It's crazy.
Yeah, and hopefully we got some more off-season content, trying to meet up with other creators and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of wild to think that the season is coming to a close already when the NASCAR season, despite being long, I almost feel like it's shorter than what it actually is. I don't know. That's maybe my brain. Like,
It's weird because it's compartmentalized into different things. There's breaks in between and stuff. It doesn't feel and it's only a week to week thing. It's not like every day.
yeah,
But like, yeah, it's just so easy. We get into that routine. Okay, Monday prep, numbers drop, go through
yeah.
it, record on Tuesday or Wednesday, get everything up, talk on the weekends, do the newsletter, wrap it around, and we're starting over again. And it's just a constant refresher and building up and all that stuff. But yeah, it's crazy that we're almost there. So any final thoughts on Talladega or anything before we turn our focus and look at Martinsville?
Yeah, I think the ending of Talladega should be yet another notice to NASCAR. Get the super speedways out of the playoffs. Like I was one for them and saying like, "Oh, this is going to be fun." But the fact that a guy could be running well all day in say like William Byron and then get completely jobbed
I mean,
with
2 weeks in a row for Byron. Byron 2 weeks ago in
Oh,
Vegas,
that is very true.
out of
Yeah,
his own
like
control, just Ty Dillon. And then speaking of Ty Dillon, another jabroni effort
oh,
this week. With this dude is just him and
what did
Cody Ware
he
just punt them out of the
I won't even
sport.
finish that abbreviation, but
Um, and then this week, Byron's doing his thing, and then obviously gets wrecked out at the end when he's having. Even if he doesn't win, he's gonna
yeah.
be in that kind of top 5 conversation at the end. And negative. Maybe he does. Maybe this will be the cherry on top that he needs. He'll go to Martinsville. He'll win the race and end up in the final 4.
It sure
Um,
feels like that's kind of where it's headed.
I don't think. I don't think we're gonna get a playoffs without at least 2 super speedways. One in the round of 12 or 8, and one in the round of 16 or 12,
Yeah.
depending on how they shake it out. Let's talk through odds. Xfinity 500. Ryan Blaney is your favorite. Dennis Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Joseph Logano are all your guys inside 10-1. 2 years in a row, Blaney has won this race. He was even talking to Gluck, I think, and being like, "So what? I mean, it's been weird. Like we've won the last 2, but that doesn't mean we're going to win this year." And he's obviously got the right paint scheme, which is what you're looking for. But I guess, are you as optimistic as the odds seem to be on Blaney that winning this week, or should we be, I guess where should we be focusing inside 10-1?
Can he do it 3 straight years? I mean, that just seems
It kind of feels like you can, but I mean, we'll see.
it's just hard to imagine like the field not making some sort of headway on the 12 camp here in the fall. And something that I've been preaching the last 2 days in the WTR Discord and on social media, the last 2 years that Ryan Blaney has won this race, neither of them included a desperate Joey Logano in the same event. Joey was either locked into the championship race or already eliminated from the playoffs in this race the 2 times that Ryan has won. So I do think that adding that second Penske car maybe takes away some of the I don't even want to call it an advantage. Maybe it takes away some of the speed that Blaney has had in past years because he's been able to pull from Joey in practice. Whereas now the 22 camp is probably going to be less likely to share as much information. And so it's hard to want to play anything sub 4 when you also have William Byron, who's won here twice in the Gen 7 era. Chase Elliott won this exact race, I believe it was 2020, to get into the championship 4. I mean, all 8 playoff drivers make up every single winner in the Gen 7 era here at Martinsville.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to want to play him at this super short number and expect them to do what they've done for a third straight year. I mean, I'm wearing the hat for a little bit of hopium myself, sitting on a large Blaney championship outright future prior to this week. So obviously I want it to happen, but I just don't know if they can go out and do it again.
Yeah, I will say, looking at the championship odds, which we'll do here in a few, if you truly believe Blaney is going to do it again, I think you just take the championship odds.
Yeah.
And you don't mess around with this week.
Yeah, because even rolling over a winning ticket this week into the championship, it's probably going to break even or maybe even be a little bit less, because if Blaney win or if Blaney advances, he's going to be the favorite.
Yeah, he's going to be like 2.25.
Yeah, he'll be 2-1 max.
Yeah. I'm just looking at New Hampshire, which is, similar to what we're running this week, and obviously the shorter or the flatter, and it's a good look into kind of what we should be expecting. I think when we head to Phoenix, the top 6 cars were Blaney, Josh Berry, William Byron, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell. And those are the players that are going to have to step up this week.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, obviously at Martinsville, Blaney's been the guy in the fall, but there's a conversation to be had about whether Joey Logano can be a factor this week, knowing what we know. Also, the guy right behind Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, is incredible here. And I think you can make yourself...
And for what it's worth, Elliott has been the guy chasing Blaney, I believe, each of the last 2 fall races.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me that they haven't studied those races and made up some type of ground.
Yeah, and you can also, like I said, we'll flip over and look at championship odds, but you can make an argument too that maybe just if you want to split the baby a little bit, because it's 6-1, it's a little more interesting, and his championship price is a little bit longer, but there's a path where if he wins this week, he could easily win Phoenix and be the champion and reward all those longtime Chase Elliott backers.
And one more caveat to this week's race at Martinsville. As we've said numerous times this year, brand new tire combination. We're running a left side tire that they have not run at all this year. It's the race debut of this left side tire that they tested at New Hampshire, where Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, and you got it, Joey Logano tested. So clearly, like, Logano, having been on this rubber in a race that he's very competitive in when he needs to be. I mean, if you go back and you look at the spring events at this track, Joey's one of the top contenders. And
go ahead.
Let me one more thing on Logano, not just against Blaney. In each of the 3 Gen 7 era fall Martinsville races, Joey Logano has had no reason to go out there and go for it all. He's been locked into the championship 4 twice, and the other time he was already eliminated with a teammate going for a win to advance to the championship 4. I have convinced myself that Joey Logano is a legitimate threat to win this race this week, and I will not be surprised if he comes with an absolute rocket.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I think it
and
makes
I'm
a
the
lot of
ultimate
sense.
Joey Logano fader.
Oh yeah, he's one of your rivals for sure.
Yes.
Should we be talking more about Kyle Larson? The last 6 races here, was that 3? Yeah, 6. He's been a top 6 car. In the fall, he's got 2 seconds. No, wait. No, a second, a 6th, and a 3rd. dude's always in the conversation. Is there a path where it's actually Kyle Larson wins and then Bell gets in on points and all these guys that we're debating get left out?
Sure. I think that's another reason why I haven't played any of these guys to win this race, just because I do think that the books got it right by pricing them where they have them. I know it's gross seeing this many guys priced in that within double digits or inside double digits, but the fact that every single Gen 7 Martinsville race has been won by a guy who's currently still in the playoffs just goes to show you this is a track where the who's who wins the event and the cream rises to the top, and you have all of the best cheese curds floating at the top of the pot or cauldron at the moment. So
it's not a visual I needed, floating curds.
If any of these guys go out and win, even a Chase Briscoe for that matter, who I do think is priced correctly as the longest playoff guy, if he wins, I won't be shocked by that either. So I'm not hurrying to bet any of these guys. I think what Kyle alluded to earlier, looking at the championship numbers for some of these dudes is more palatable because you're getting much larger prices in some cases. So yeah, I also think that this completely nullifies any of the longer shots to win the race as well.
So let me ask, let's start here. Do you think a non-playoff driver wins this week?
No chance.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it happening at all.
So if we're betting somebody to win the race and from that group, I guess, is it Logano and Byron the only ones that are long enough where it actually kind of makes sense to take their outright this week?
I don't even think they're long enough.
You can get 850 on Byron at DraftKings and you can get 9 on Logano at MGM.
Okay, so here's where I'm at with that. I know sometimes it hasn't always played out this way, and a couple of times we've worried about tires and it hasn't meant shit, but as pointed out by our buddy Ryan Stevens at Win the Race, these significant temperature differences between the spring and the fall this year are going to play a major role on how this race transpires. And with the new tire, I really got to see practice, because say somebody misses the setup here, they are going to be screwed.
Yeah, but unless that's Ryan Blaney, because he started 20 something last year and then made it all the way to the front and won.
Yeah, but he was good. The difference was he was good in practice.
Oh, he just didn't qualify well.
Yeah, he just didn't qualify well, and so that's where you got to see if somebody doesn't come with good equipment. I mean, they're going to be throwing Hail Marys left and right, and I would rather avoid that or fade them in matchups or something.
Yeah. So I would say for Byron, I don't love him to win the championship, and I don't think he's a true contender even if he gets there. So I'd much rather bet him to win this week than to win the championship. But with Logano, with Chase Elliott, and Blaney especially, I'd much rather just put all my eggs into that championship basket and hope they get there and win that race. Obviously, that's a little bit of a parlay, and we'll look at the odds here in a second, but just betting 380 or even 6 on a guy seems especially before, Chase did this last year where he was I think 9, and then all of a sudden he was going off as the favorite at 250 because he was awesome in practice and put it on the pole. Do you have interest in Bell, Larson, Briscoe, Denny for top 3, top 5, top manufacturer? It's gonna be a little bit shorter, but feels pretty rock solid to have them in the conversation, at least for the most part.
Yeah, I do think those are the markets that are much easier to attack this week. Like a guy like Hamlin, for instance, as I said, I really don't think what the motivations are or lack thereof for the 11 team. This is Denny Hamlin's track. I mean, he's the active leader in wins at this place. He won here in the spring. If tires have any impact on the race and fall off, Denny Hamlin. Like
Denny and
he's
Logano,
here
the
and
names
everybody
that
else
came
is
to
here.
mind when you were talking about the tire fall off.
Yeah. So, Hamlin, if you can get anywhere near plus money on a top 5 on him, I don't mind taking a shot on that. I looked offshore at that number. I believe it was plus 120. I haven't fired yet because I did find a Hamlin outright ticket at a I guess I forget what they call them. It's like you buy shares of things.
Like one of the poly market.
Correct. Yeah, one of those types of places. I got basically plus 840 on Denny to win. So that's what I have outside the show at the moment. The only ticket I have on the race from an outright perspective.
Yeah, he's like minus 140, 160 at most books. Our friends offshore have him minus 110. Feels about like the best you could do. Let's see what 365 has. I'm sure
Yeah.
our friends in the Discord hammered their odds.
Yeah, he's minus 110 at 365 too for top 5.
So that's probably the best you're gonna be able to do right now. But I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I just feel comfortable with Denny at this track. I mean, if he's not finishing 5th or inside the top 5, he's finishing 6th or 7th usually.
Do you have interest in him as top Toyota, or do you think competing, you rather have the wiggle room? Okay, yeah, because I feel like that market's a little easy. Like Ford feels pretty locked up with Blaney, and obviously you could hit Logano if you wanted to do that, and then Toyota feels pretty open, and then Chevy. I mean, I guess you could do the Chase Byron thing, but I'd rather have the wiggle room with, even if Byron or Chase or Larson win, if you want to back the other one in top 3, top 5, I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, so I do think the top Toyota market might be slightly live this week because as much as I talked up Denny and I think he's probably going to go for a win, there is a world, in my opinion, where a guy like Bubba Wallace shows up again like he did in the spring, who has been improving on short tracks for that matter.
Yeah.
And he kind of upsets the field and is that one non-playoff guy who kind of rides up at the front for the majority of the day. And Denny just at the end finishes 4th or 5th. And it's actually Wallace in around like 2nd or 3rd, and then meanwhile, Christopher Bell, he probably wants to win the race to guarantee a spot into the next round, but he has to concern himself with Kyle Larson first and foremost, because if there is a winner below the cut line, they're battling for the final spot in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of his decision-making is going to be predicated on what the 5 does and vice versa.
Yeah, no, I think they're going to be following each other all day.
Exactly.
They're be racing each other. They're like, we don't need to win. We just need to place. And if he pits, let's pit. If he doesn't pit, let's stay out. Let's chase each other around all day and have no concern with what's going on at the front. We need to finish one spot ahead of the other guy.
Obviously, I do unless one of them shows up with like race winning speed, or
right.
I mean, they're both going to have elite speed, but unless they're like one of them is the best car and they can win the race,
or if one of them absolutely stinks or Larson crashes, then they're going to say, F it, let's go for a win.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, no, I do think there's opportunity even at plus 130 for Denny. I think I'd rather bet that than top 5, but maybe that's,
I don't know. Okay, so like Bubba Wallace, for instance, plus 750 is a little bit short for me, but I mean, if you can get close to double digits, I definitely think that's live. Knowing the motivations for everybody that's above him and priced shorter than him heading into the.
Yeah, I don't even hate Briscoe, honestly. I wish I could get a little better than 5, but yeah,
I don't know. Like,
that's probably too short.
Part of me thinks that Briscoe is going to race well because this is he's kind of been a short track guy before he even came to JGR, but I do think you get a little bit of a Logano situation with him where they're locked in and they're fully focused on Phoenix at the moment.
Yeah. Byron's kind of interesting, but I don't know. I don't want any part of the non-playoff drivers here. Any other Martinsville kind of general thoughts? Anything else you want to look at as we kind of look through the different numbers and see if there's any potential? Are you interested in any head-to-heads prior to practice and qualifying?
I do think there are some paths to pre-flop
Like,
value.
would you bet Logano plus 125 versus Blaney? Or would you just bet him to win the race?
I think, yeah, at that point, you just bet Joey to win. I just don't.
I do like Elliott. I wish it was a little bit better, but he could easily beat Larson.
Yeah, see, right there, I would certainly lean the 9 over the 5 because of their point situations and knowing that Elliott isn't a must-win scenario. While Larson, again, as we just talked about, Larson can just ride around all day in 7th and not worry about anything other than just beating Christopher Bell.
Well, and the other thing that you could get too is like we talked about, where Elliott looks amazing in practice qualifying, puts it on the pole, and then all of a sudden that's flipped, and you can kind of bet the other side if you want.
Yeah. All right. I did find a matchup over on 365 that I think I'm going to play.
Oh, ESPN only has 3 head-to-heads this week. Usually they have a whole list. So you could get Larson minus 110 versus Bell. You can get Byron plus 110 versus Chase Elliott. And you can get Logano plus 125 versus Blaney. What are you betting on 365?
Ryan Preece over boss Brad Keselowski at plus 120.
I don't hate it.
Full disclosure, Ryan Preece was the first driver that I bet on this week. I have top 10 at 3-1, and I placed top 5 at 12-1.
What about Bowman over Barry? Plus 120.
I don't trust either of those guys, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I know Josh Berry's he's gonna.
Speaking of guys you don't trust, how about Austin Cindric plus 160 against Tyler Reddick?
No chance. I know Reddick is not good here, but Austin Cindric will probably be parked by the end of stage 1.
Yeah.
I do think that there are a lot of potential values this week in non-playoff guys, though, at placement markets because of just what is going to be occurring with the points battle of the guys that are currently above it, and also the guys going for a win who could wreck themselves out of a race or get desperate and go for a Hail Mary type of play that doesn't work out and they wind up finishing 23rd because they had to pit on fuel or something of that nature, you know? So I think it opens up some possibilities of some interesting guys finishing inside the top 10.
I agree. Any other Martinsville overall thoughts before we jump into championship prices?
Yeah, just give us a freaking good race, man. I'm hoping this new tire gives us some fall off, and quite honestly, I see Denny Hamlin again flip the double bird to everybody.
Do you feel worse about Blaney with the new tire, or do you not really think about that when you're thinking about him potentially?
I don't know. I'm not too concerned about the new tire because we ran this right side tire multiple times this year. We ran it at New Hampshire where he was 1A or 1B in terms of speed, and then when you factor in his talent at this particular track, yeah, I think whatever maybe pitfalls that he has on that type of tire combat is completely mitigated.
Okay. Let's talk about championships because obviously we'll shop it around. I'm going to pull up a few different books on my other screen to see kind of what we can get in terms of championship prices, but Bell is the favorite at Caesars, which I don't necessarily agree with, especially because he's not even locked in yet. Dennis, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Blaney, Logano, Elliott, Byron. Like the Elliott at 20, the Byron at 30, even Logs at 20. If you truly feel like they're contenders this week, the books are telling us that a lot of them are. There's real opportunity to get involved because if Logano gets to Phoenix and he's in the 4, he'll be pretty really short priced. Chase Elliott can absolutely win. He'll be short. Byron, I'm less optimistic on, but I mean, if you told me he beat Denny, Briscoe, and I don't know, Chris Bell or Kyle Larson, I don't think it would be shocking, especially if he's third and gets the win, and it's like a weird year where Ross Chastain and someone are running up front.
Yeah.
Or Ross Chastain and Ryan Blaney are racing up front all day, and Byron gets third, and Blaney's not part of the Champ 4.
Yeah, look, I don't think any. I really don't think any of these guys should be priced at that number when you account for how good they actually are, and the fact, especially when you account for Byron's 2 wins here at Martinsville. I mean, he's proven it before that he can win at this track. Maybe not in the fall races of the Gen 7, but if he goes out and wins this week and then brings a very fast car to Phoenix, and say Christopher Bell gets eliminated and it's Byron versus Larson, Hamlin, and Briscoe, I think that certainly narrows whatever gap he had to the JGR cars in Phoenix, and it eliminates the Penske guys, as you said. So at 30-1, if you rolled into Phoenix holding that ticket, you would be a very happy camper. And you'd also open up the possibility to hedge with, say, Denny or Briscoe at shorter prices.
Yeah. Now's a good time. I mean, obviously it depends. Like you have to look at what you're holding, what you're not holding. Like last year, we were in a great position because we had all these odds. We had long numbers on Reddick. We had long numbers on Blaney. We had long numbers on Chase Elliott, which we got before.
Certainly
this race.
Didn't work out this year.
No, and ultimately it didn't really matter last year either because we ended up with Logano as the one guy who gets the win, and I bet him in February, and I think you bet him like in August or something. Like
I got him before Vegas. I had 20 or 25.
Okay, so I don't know. Let me see. Let me pull up Motorsports over here. Not that one. Let's go. We don't have championship odds. Let's see. Oh, they don't have championship odds over there. Okay. NASCAR Cup Series. No championship.
Yeah, I believe 30 is the longest on Byron available.
Yeah.
I will say anything at 20 or more on Elliott, I think that's an absolute fire. You just avoid. I wouldn't even mess around with him winning Martinsville. You just bet Elliott to win the championship, and it opens up a 2-race ticket.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think Byron is, like I said, he's lower on my list, but I get it if you want to bet it. I think Chase Elliott's an absolute smash. I think if you're in with Brian, I think betting Logano now makes a ton of sense. Hell, I still think you
have to figure if Logano wins this week, he's going to kind of jump. I mean, Briscoe is currently priced at like plus 370, plus 350. So I think that goes to show you if a Penske car gets in, they are going to be in that 2 to 225 range, regardless of which one it is, in my opinion.
Yeah. And obviously you might want to pick your battles because you're probably not going to get all of them, but you could just, I think Blaney's the best car. I think he's going to dominate. I think he's going to win. Bet him at 12 or 10, or you can say all 60-40 that bet, put some on Logano, put some on Chase Elliott.
I don't think that.
And just hope that it's not Blaney. But I think, unfortunately, the way Bell and Larson are priced, they're priced basically like they're in. Obviously, there's
which is a mistake in my opinion.
They'll get a little bit shorter, but not a ton. Especially like Briscoe. I don't know. I still think Briscoe is interesting. It's probably too short, but he's locked in, and I think that number is shorter when we're talking ahead of Phoenix.
Oh well, yeah. I haven't really completely bought into the 19 team. I mean, even though they continue to prove my skepticism wrong, and I do, and it probably is a mistake. I mean, when you look at how strong they've been at every single track and their ability to show up with the fastest car on Saturday and qualify up front is a pretty underrated ability heading to the championship race. Because not only would it give him, the pole, but it would give him that number one pit stall in Phoenix, which has notoriously been one of the biggest advantages in the sport.
And like, this is very Byron circa 2023, where they're just like on and off pit road, pit crew, smart decisions, just constantly doing the right things to put their team in position.
Yeah.
On race day. Like they're not doing the dumb shit that they have to figure out how to get out of. Denny's been able to do that all season long and get wins and steal races that he probably shouldn't have won. But Briscoe's team hasn't done that. And maybe this will be the race where they do it, and then they're like, why? Yeah, obviously he didn't win.
Honestly, with it being his first championship 4 appearance, I don't want to jinx anything, but I could definitely see a Christopher Bell-esque.
Oh yeah, where he's out in stage 1.
Where he wrecks, or he's got some funky, like random flat tire that wrecks his car.
Yeah, I think there is definitely once you've been there. But like I think people forget that he was in the round of 8 with SHR and was like almost made the championship 4 with SHR. And so while the actual championship 4 run is new to him, he has playoff experience.
Yeah.
And he's gotten so much fucking better. And if you tell me that he's there without the Penske guys, I love his odds way more.
I agree. I love his odds way more, but I said this
like,
after.
If you tell me it's Denny, Chase, and Bell or Larson, I'm ecstatic to be holding 20. I'm thrilled to be holding 10. And honestly he could be the favorite or co-favorite.
Holding a 20-1 ticket on anybody in the championship 4 should make you giddy. I mean, those are crazy prices, knowing that the longest you're going to get on a guy who's competing for the championship at Phoenix is 350, 375, maybe 4.
Yeah, I feel like Logano was like 450 last year, but
I think we got him at like 420 to 430
because of who was there with him.
Yeah, but yeah, so I just hope Martinsville is a good race. I hope the tire performs well. I do find it interesting that we're unveiling another new damn tire combo in the fucking penultimate race of the season. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. You should probably get like Catherine Legg and Anthony Alfredo out there too, just to let them run.
Okay, so that is another thing too. It is refreshing to see that there's only one complete shit box entering the race as an open car. And I think Casey Mears is entering in the 66. So I mean, we only have one speed bump to contend with. I know the other guys will be like those, like the flat, like reflector speed bump things that you run into sometimes, just to kind of alert you to slow down. It's not a full-on speed bump that you have to actually slow down to get over, so that way you don't bottom out.
Just can't wait until Casey Mears runs into the invisible banana peel and shuffles
oh my God.
whole field and goes to go. Yeah, I don't lose my mind. All right, Brian, it was good to chat. It was good to catch up. It was good to talk through it all. We talked a little Martinsville. We talked a little Talladega. Like I said, we're hopeful to do something for DraftKings ahead of the race on Sunday, but we'll figure.
I have to go to a wedding, which is why.
Yeah, Brian has to go to a wedding. I'm in the process of trying to deal with some housing and shit, and I've been sick a bunch. I'll at least commit to writing something and getting that out in the newsletter. So AOP podcast.substack.com. Once again, AOP podcast Substack.com, but we will try and do something. I know Worm does his pre-race poll on Sunday mornings. Maybe we could do something before that, but it gets early and Brian has actual job duties with the with his real
Stupid
life.
NFL.
I know, stupid NFL paying your bills and shit. But so we'll see what we can do. We'll definitely be back. Brian will be in Phoenix, so if you're going to Phoenix for the championship race, holler at Brian. He could definitely come say hello, kiss some babies, sign some autographs, take some pictures, because he is the celebrity around these parts. But Brian, we have one race left, buddy. We got Martinsville. We're talking Phoenix, and then we're donezo. It's crazy.
It's very sad.
I know. Somehow we'll survive. If there is off-season content you guys would like to see, please drop that in the comments. If you're the current leader in our Grid Rivals pick contest, please get me your email address, because I've been trying to catch you all season and it's just not working. Currently in second to Leapsfrog. Please send me your email so I can get you paid out if and when you win. That is Brian Twining. I'm Kyle Robert. We appreciate everybody who's still riding with us. We know football takes a lot of people's attention. We appreciate everyone who's still checking out our content each and every week. We're trying to make it better. We're trying to make it more interesting. So if you have thoughts, things you'd like to see, let us know. But enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Martinsville if we don't talk to you by then. And then we'll be back to talk all things championship as we go to Phoenix with the final 4 set. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you next time.